This is Talk Calcio TV. Ciao ragazzi! Welcome to tonight's episode on this Friday. We're going to preview all the weekend's games, give our predictions. If you didn't watch last night's episode, we made a big announcement, and that's on February the 25th. We are going to be in Rome at the Stadio Olimpico for the Serie A game of Roma versus AC Milan. That is the Giallorossi taking on the Rossoneri at the Stadio Olimpico. We've been assured by our contacts in Rome we're going to be safe. We're going to be sat on the Curva Sud in with the Roma Ultras. We're going to try and keep our head down, make sure we don't get caught in any trouble or anything, or we come out of the game in one piece. So that'll be something to look forward to, all my followers. So don't forget, 25th of February, Roma versus AC Milan. We are going to be there. Let's start with this weekend's predictions and fixtures then. First off, we've got Chievo. They host Juventus on Saturday night. I'm going to go for an away win for the Bianconeri. Now, the other night, Juventus didn't play very well against Genoa, but they still get the job done. You know, they're like Man United. You say what you want, love them or hate them. You can never write them off. You know, Juventus, they always find a way to get the job done. Of course, they won 1-0 the other night, a goal from Douglas Costa. Now, when we look at Chievo, the Flying Donkeys, right now they are playing like donkeys. They're conceding goals. They've sucked right into the relegation battle now. They're not in the bottom three, but they could be should results go against them this weekend. I can't help but go for an away win for the Bianconeri, so we're going to go for Juventus to win that one. Then we've got Crotone against Cagliari. Now this one, of course, is a relegation 6-pointer. Of course, if Crotone won, they would drag the Sardinian side into the drop zone. I've got something about this is going to be a 6-pointer, not a classic. I'm going to go for a draw on this one. Fiorentina versus Verona. Now, Fiorentina had a disappointing defeat against Sampdoria last week. Of course, Fabio Quagliarella scoring a hat-trick. However, Verona at the moment just don't seem to be showing much fight in their bid to stay in Serie A. So we're going to go for a home win for La Viola. So that's 3 points to Fiorentina. Genoa versus Udinese. Genoa, very unlucky to lose the Juventus the other night. I don't know if it was because it's the Bianconeri, the champions, and they raised their game. You could even say Juventus didn't play well, but you know, if Genoa had more bite about them or something up front, they could have rescued a point the other night. Udinese, of course, they were unbeaten in 6 games. Of course, they were humbled the other night by Lazio at the Stadio Olimpico 3-0. Massimo Oddo had the team on a great run. I've got a feeling this one's going to be a draw, so yeah, we're going to go for draw on that one, I think. Then we have AC Milan. They host Lazio at the San Siro. That is a 5 o'clock kickoff. AC Milan have put some results together recently. Rino Gattuso, his men, they're starting to hit some sort of form. But Lazio at the moment are just absolutely flying. You know, they were 5th, they've leaped into 3rd. It looks as if they're going to consolidate 3rd place. It looks like 4th place is going to be between Inter and Roma. They're scoring for fun. Even with Ciro Immobile injured, they still find the goals. It'll be a test for Milan's defence. So we're going to go for a win for the Biancoceleste. That's Lazio on this one. Now, Napoli against Bologna. Now, I'm going to say a home win, but I think it's fair to say the build-up to this game isn't going to be about the champion, well, the team leading Serie A at the moment. Of course, it's all going to be dominated by Simone Verdi. As we know, he was scheduled to go to Napoli. And at the 11th hour, he pulled out saying a move didn't feel right, but he hasn't closed the door on a future move to Napoli. Now, Marek Hamsik, the Napoli skipper, said the other day, they don't need to make their feelings known to Simone Verdi. I'm sure a packed crowd at the Stadio San Paolo will do that for them next Sunday. And let's be honest, I think he's going to get some grief. Will Napoli want to sign him again in the future after the way he's behaved and turned around and saying at the 11th hour he wanted to come and then pull out? That will be interesting, but I think we're going to go for a home win for Napoli. I'm sure they didn't need motivation as it is to stay top of Serie A. Given Verdi his decision, I'm sure that'll give them extra incentive. We're going to go for a win for Napoli. We expect them to be leading Serie A at the weekend. Now, Roma play Sampdoria at the Olimpico on Sunday night, 7:45 kickoff. Now, as we already know, of course, they only played on Wednesday night. However, that game at the Luigi Ferrara Stadium was called off back in 2017, September, October time, and only got rescheduled and played on Wednesday night. So, with the fixture list back to normal, of course, they face each other at the Olimpico this weekend. Now, to predict the result when the teams have just played each other, it kind of, it's it it kind of doesn't give you much to talk about. It wasn't a classic by all means the other night. Sampdoria, of course, you could say they were fortunate getting a penalty, but unfortunate not to hold on. I'm going to go for another draw on this. Now, will Edin Dzeko feature? Of course, we reported in our last episode, we believe that Palmieri and Dzeko's move to Chelsea is off. It looks like Dzeko will remain with the Giallorossi, at least for the time being. It's Eusebio Di Francesco said yesterday he is likely to feature. So, but in my head, I'm going to go for the same result. I'm going to go for a draw on this one. Of course, Roma do need a win, though, if they want to get their Champions League back on track. Of course, Lazio in third. Above them, it looks like they're going to fight out with Inter Milan. They need to bridge a gap to the Nerazzurri, that's for sure. Next game, we have Sassuolo against Atalanta. I'm going to go for an Atalanta away win on this one. Of course, they were beaten last week at home by Napoli. They've not had much good fortune lately, Atalanta, but I expect them to pick up the results. Again, of course, Sassuolo did do well to get a point against Torino last week under Mazzari's revitalised Granate side. But I'm going to go for an away win to the underdog Atalanta on this one. Then we have Spal against Inter. Now, Inter haven't won in 8 games now. The form under Spalletti has tailed off. Of course, as we know, Rafinha is likely to make his debut. Will Pastore be signed in time? That remains to be seen. Of course, Daniel Sturridge, we know they're interested as well. I'm going to go on this one, though. I think Inter are going to end their bad form. Spal at the moment in Serie A, they're just not showing any fight right now. If Inter don't win this game, then there's something seriously wrong. I think the knives will be out for Spalletti once again. But we're going to go for an away win to the Nerazzurri. Last but not least, we have Torino against Benevento. Of course, Benevento won 2 games, which we thought we would see that. They won 2 games on the trot, but of course they were beaten last week by Bologna. Torino, though, revitalised under Walter Mazzari. I go for a home win in Turin for Torino. I just don't see how Benevento can get a win away from home. So we're going to go for a win on the Granate. So come the end of the week, I clearly expect Napoli to still be top of the Scudetto race. 1 point is the difference. If either of the teams slip up, it lets the other one back in, or it lets Napoli pull away. Last few years, the Scudetto race has been so one-sided in Juventus' favour. They've ran away with it, even if they have faced some stiffer challenges to the end. But this year is just 1 point. It is so interesting to watch. Who will lead Serie A come the next week? Don't forget to like or comment or subscribe. Tell us what you think. Don't forget, that's Talk Calcio TV on YouTube. And we will speak to you next episode. We'll go through the latest transfer news, should any other major talking points evolve. Arrivederci.